Hey everybody, and welcome to the Urban Anarchist Garden. On another field trip today, we're out checking out the Northern Illinois Steam Show. So it's pretty cool how they have those old steam-driven tractors and different implements up there at that show. The big one that you saw there with the super long belt was running off of a Minneapolis threshing machine, and then the belt actually ran over to a threshing machine, and they were threshing wheat out there. So I got talking to the guy, and I told him that I had restored a small grist mill. This is a O.S. Osborne grist mill. Kind of hard to tell really how old it is because it's completely cast iron and they made them for a long time, from like the 1880s up through the 2000s. This one it had been around for a while. Came with some extra grinders down in there. But anyway, I got talking to him about this, and he said, well, if you'd like some wheat, I'll give you some wheat. And he actually gave me some wheat berries from the steam-powered thresher that was threshing the actual wheat there. So we got some wheat, and we're going to actually grind some of this up into flour here. I'm going to pour it into the top of this. And again, this is an O.S. Osborne grist mill made in Hillsboro, Ohio, marked USA on it. It was in pretty rough shape when I got it. Cleaned it all up. The internals here, got all the rust off of it, cleaned those all up. I didn't paint those obviously because that's what's going to be grinding the wheat. Coated it with some food safe mineral oil to make it grind, but let me show you how this works. As you turn the handle, you get flour out. And it can be kind of messy. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through and I'm going to grind up this quart of this flour. I'm going to bring you back. We'll show you how we sift out, and just leave behind the fine flour and what we end up with when it's all said and done. So a few things. Earlier on in the video, you'll see basically the same one of these hooked up to an old hit and miss motor, which I highly recommend after cranking through this thing for about a quart of wheat to get flour. So it's definitely strong arm flour making here, but let me show you what we get here. So these are the wheat berries right out of that thresher. And this is the flour that you end up with after you run it through. Now this does have some adjustments on the back. You could make cornmeal. I've got it down as fine as it'll go. And it gives you a pretty fine flour, although not near as fine as what you would buy in the store. Imagine if you had a finer sieve than like what we were using, you might get a finer flour, a finer final end product, but it's not bad. It's pretty fine what you end up with. So, and I think about 1.5 quarts of wheat berries when I started here. Gave us just about 1 quart of flour when we were all said and done. I probably could have ran, the chaff and stuff back through it again, maybe got a little more flour out of it, but once you sieve it and you get, as fine as you can into the jar, that's what I ended up with, about 1 quart from 1.5 quarts. So I guess all we got to do now is decide what we're going to try to cook with this whole wheat flour that we hand ground ourselves.